This day 1705, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Today we're doing Chesh Mishpat Siman Reish Ayin Aleph, Sif Aleph to Hey, and then going on to Shin Nun Tes, Aleph to Ches. Reish right now. Metzias Behema, Metzias Tarchov, Vishovar Beget, the founding of a finding of a lost animal, finding of a IOU, and a receipt, and a get. Al Basim Kutzai examine is Bardina Kinyanim Bal Yachaim. Sim Kutzai examine talk about acquiring animals. Barasham Sivav. The Berchiba Luchuliyesh Machlokes is a place can call Mecher. There's Machlokes if just riding animals an acquisition by a sale. Abba Bafker Mitzia. But if it's you have an object which is animal which is hefker or a lost object. Everybody agrees that riding enough is riding is sufficient to acquire it. So it's Beis Yosef, and that resolves the question of the Samach. There are two people riding, they both acquire it. Don't say one is primary and the other one is subordinate. Even though he holds that by riding alone you acquire, you don't have to conduct it with your legs. Medicine, you're riding it and it's stationary, that's not keen. It has to move a little bit, meaning that it has to uproot its foreleg and back leg. Bonus Barsham also because clarified there that Hoga have a kinyan that leading the animal is a kinyan like pulling an animal. I feel Nico because even you let it by with your voice, or you hit it with your stick, but front of it and ran in front of you, have a kinyan, it's about kinyan. There for two people who were leading the animal, one was riding, one was leading. They both acquired the animal, and they divided up. So one is leading it and one is directing it. That's a Rambam Perak Zayin Me'aveda. The Rambam is the Begamal and a camel. I was going to so kind of even though each one by himself would make a kinyan. Was one was pulling it and the other was directing it. The kinyan of pulling it supersedes the kinyan of directing it. The Begamal, maybe we should say driving it. The Begamal Alif Kinyan Mashiach by a camel, the Kinyan of pulling it is superior. It's not, doesn't work so well with directives. Two people see a camel or a donkey, which is lost. Both of them drove it or pulled it, or one was driving it and one was pulling it. And they both acquired. But it was true. When is it applied by chamor or by donkey? But a camel. One of them was driving it. One was pulling it. The puller acquired not the driver. In brackets, he says in first one, daf tes lokani. When it says that the one side doesn't work, kind of makom kinyan acher, where there is a different kinyan which is operating. Pasuk Yidarmi Kedarko, and he pasuk like Yidarmi as is his wont. We also explained the addition of Pasuk in Israelu that Pasuk on the Gamal Nikne got Raku V'Shicha, the camel was only acquired by pulling Chamor Rakman Chamor only by driving. I will have the opposite. Yesh B'Chamem Lo Abikina. One of them is not a Valkina. Came Shay Sofek. There's a doubt. Gamal Lo Nikne. A camel cannot be acquired by driving, and a donkey by pulling. But that's only by a sale or a gift. But a lost object. Both of them, both can are valid. So we don't take away from the person who takes all of it in that manner. So Marosh. A sale or gift is because you put the money into the assumption of the original owner's ownership. It's from the Torah. Two people made a kinyan in a donkey of hefker or lost a donkey. One by pulling, one by driving. And then the driver seized on it. My kinyan is definite. Yours is doubtful. I'm holding on to. I'm not going to give you a portion. Say this going to these places. Can have a gamal. This is opposite by camels. I'm saying about Shalom for the Karamam, Bishmitu Sham Din Zed the Shalom does not bring down the Salacha. Down Obian Rishon will explain the Yesh Kinyan Mesira b'Mecher. There's a Kinyan of giving over by a sale. Al Metzia b'Hefker, but by Metzia or Hefker lo Shak Kinyan Zeh to be Meiser lo. There's no Kinyan who's giving it over. L'chein behemo shel Metzia, therefore a behemo which is lost. Shkarim Echad v'Tav Sab Mosera. One of them came and seized it by the reins. Who are resen, or which is the muzzle, or chevel, or the rope, with savara, which is hanging from its neck, which you give an animal from hand to hand. So it's not enough. It doesn't require until he pulls it or drives it. This is also true by an animal which belongs to a ger who died without any heirs. But he did acquire the reins themselves. The other party is holding on to. That's a shach and taz. One of them was riding. The same one that was holding on to the reins. The rider acquires the animal, and the reins which are not on the cheek of the animal, only. That part is nullified to the animal. The one who's holding on to the reins, he didn't acquire either of those things. If a third person comes and grabs the reins, then grabs the animal. It's gonna be animal, right? No, I see. Okay, I skipped a line. The one who holds the reins, he acquires what he holds in his hands. The rest of the reins, not acquired by either one. If a third person came, and grabbed it, it's his. If he saw so, his holding on to it does not help for the rider. Like somebody who lifts up an object for his friend. He's doing it for his own purposes. Came and do low kana. So he's not acquiring it. That's about the second party. The feast of the second party doesn't work for the rider. Like because here he does a dasaitzim. Came and do low kana. Since he didn't acquire himself, how can the rider get it? Hey, Matthias Storas of Shabrahim, these barbers Simon Samachay, Matthias can't have it as a Simikulam base Simikulam. So we're not going to get into it here. And we go on to the next Simon, which is, as we said, Simon Shin Nun Tes. Shin Nun Tes. Isser Gazela, the prohibition of theft, of robbery, I should say, and the prohibition of being desirous in different ways of one's friend's property. To rob or to cheat. I feel kosher, even a minute amount. Ben we saw whether it's from a Jew or from a non-Jew. Which is having the simon shemem ches. V'yimu davar the lake of man the copy bezeh mutter. There's something which nobody really cares about. It's permissible. Como lito migader michabila to take a little stick. It's like a toothpick from a fence or from a bundle. Latzos bashina to pick your teeth. Even this it says Yerushalmi Mesachas Demai. If a person is a pious person, he won't do this either. You start through a god, because if everybody does this, it's going to destroy the fence. And in our days, we have customers when somebody comes to his friend's house, and his friend is taking snuff. Bitter leaves, I'm assuming it's tobacco leaves, in his nostrils or in his mouth, I guess, chewing tobacco. So the guy below shares by him, below shares by him. He takes also from the snuff box, from the chewing tobacco, without asking the owner. Also take matches to light it. It's also when people take hot water from urn, which has, I guess, tea in it or some sort of other herb. People take cups and they drink. Here means kind of like a mug. It's also because people don't not concerned with this, not meticulous about this. However, somebody is pious, they certainly will be careful and ask. Certainly, if they know that the owner is a person who is meticulous about the things, that's also according to the letter of the law. Also, again, when guest comes to Reuven's house and he Reuven honors him, and as a result, Shimon comes to Reuven's house and he's not a guest. And just out of their Eretz, Reuven asked Shimon to eat, to drink and to eat. If Shimon does not know certainty that Reuven really wants to be with him, Yachigas, that's when we say should distance himself from this. It's similar to, it's on the cat rubric, I think, of Suda Shenem of Spekas the Baila, which does not suffice for its owner, even it's an extension of that principle. Based also, exhorting now to rob, I feel I'm not Shalim, Darby often makes it to pay back something which is superior in quality to the lost object, to the stolen object. See, Chavoy Yashiv Rasha, Kizeloy Shalem. What he took, what he sees, he'll get back. This Russia will pay back his gazela. Even though he's going to pay back his stolen object, Russia makes his Russia. Even initially had a mind to pay. Some say that's only if the payment is not available. I believe when it's available, Bein Yosef, when it's more available, I guess. Bein Yofim Yosef, then they're superior. Madav Shulchan, from the thing that he took from him. And it's known that the owner will sell whatever they take. I guess it's not something with sentimental value. Tashish based on something which was for use of his household. Because it's advantageous to the owner. And he should bestow ownership on this thing which is going to give to the owner by a third party. Because you can bestow ownership not in front of the person, by a third party. It's obvious that if the owner is here and protests this whole affair, he's not allowed to even do this thing. Also, if this more superior thing is not available, also you're not allowed to do it even not when you're not in front of him. The Gazan, right now you're a thief, but a robber. You might even get the superior thing. If it's something which is from the things he uses at home, also a social midas about you're not allowed to take it without the consent of the owner, no matter what. The Shaman Yichla said maybe he likes using this thing than anything else which is even superior in quality or value to it. And even all those things where we say you're allowed to do this, you can only do it in this case of great need, but in a way which is clear to us that the owner would acquiesce to that. Goes as even somebody who steals robs his friend even of the value of a pruta, goes and nafsh as if you're stealing his soul. These are the pathways of all these people who do these iniquitous deeds, monetary iniquities, and they take the soul of the owner. If you know somebody takes something as to borrow, shall be nice borrowing without the explicit consent of the owner. Nikar is called a robber. I feel if a person is in danger, but he's coming to steal from his friend, kidei to save his own soul. You're allowed to do this on account of pikuach nefesh. You're only allowed to take it with the intent of paying back. You take it without the intent of paying back. You are a robber. You're now to save yourself on your friend's account, on your friend's monetary account. Even in a place of danger, you don't have money to pay back. That also has Ramak Gzela. Now let's do Gzela with treachery. Go to money, such as you go by a storekeeper. But only you say you want to buy fruits. You taste a little bit of them. And you make yourself as if you can't come to an agreed upon price. Then you go to some guy, do the same thing, take a little bit of fruit. Third guy, but also can you do it again, third time? You're a robber. Only one thing Chazal permitted this on account of danger. Sheim Heikis down, person collect blood. For us, shows yain, and his cure is to drink wine. And he doesn't have the wherewithal to buy wine. His is embarrassed to ask for free. He can take a bad coin. Go to a wine cellar. He don't mind, taste a little bit. Then go to a second wine cellar by Shlishi and a third, etc. And when after he drinks, when he shows him the coin, they're not going to agree to pay him for this coin. Wine, but in the meantime, he's going to place to place and drink a wine less than a brut on each place. Hey. Somebody sees the collateral from his friend who owes him money. Came to us without Basin's authorization. I raise the guys and you are a thief. Even though the person owes you money. Somebody goes out saying, you go into the borrower's house, Mish going to take the collateral, because not Simon Sadiq. Any Gazlan becomes unfit for testimony, and for oaths, Simon Lamadal. This is no exception. Take collateral without Basin's authorization. Because people don't realize it's forbidden. But this is only when you seize something from the hands of the borrower in the marketplace. If you go to his house, you become puzzled, because then you're over an explicit puzzle. The Mikra Mefurish is explicit puzzle. Do not go into his house to seize any collateral. But with stomach, they may say so. Maybe I'm oritz. Multi kamaratim, as they say, knows this prohibition. We know that the land does not know this prohibition. Lonely side doesn't become puzzled by having done this. And back it says the Berek Abais and Shach, and somehow this resolves that everybody's asked about the Shach, and that is it for today. Sorry, that was not it for today. I misread the prompt here on the screen. I'm actually supposed to do Sif Ches. Let's go on. Vav, Steve, it says, Lo Sashok, Lo Stig Zol. Do not cheat and do not rob. What are these two things? Gzela, Shlokech, Meno Adam, O Chapatzim, the mammon of the robbing is shekukech mammon adam b'chapatzon. You take the money of a person or his objects miyado from his hands, or mishuso, or from his jurisdiction b'chaska with violence, with strength. Such as when you seize from his hand. When you go into your friend's jurisdiction without his consent, take for their money or something which is worth money. Or you seized your friend's slave, or his animal, also did work with them, or use them. Or he went into your friend's field and ate his fruit, or took them. Anything similar, you take it deliberately with violence. Zeu gazan, that's a robber. What is a cheater? You got your friend's money with the consent of the owner, but came at Shetovo, not zero. Well, once Mamono, when your friend demands his money back, you maintained it in your hand. Will not return it. Such as where you had on your friend's hand a loan or schirus or some sort of wages for Tovo, and he demands back the loan or the wages which you owe him. V'yeshlo, and you have to prepay him. And you can't, but he can't extract it from you. Because you are violent and tough. Chazal say the oshek is somebody who holds back, withholds the payment of a employee. Over also violates the prohibition of lotizo. It says, do not desire. Do not covet and do not desire. It doesn't mean a desire in the heart without any deed. Through the Afim, same parts of Akev, learn out it says, do not covet silver and gold upon them and take for you. The Yisur lo tachmod, says only when you do a deed. Even though it's pious not to covet at all. I feel believe even the heart, whatever his friend hands. Nevertheless, the prohibition of lo tachmod ain't over rak ba'is the ma'isa. Only you violate when you do a ma'isa. But lav lo tisave, and the prohibition not to desire. Afagav the type of believing no desires in the heart. Come in over betavas libo bad. You don't violate this just by the desire of your heart. Unless you calculate in your heart how to obtain it from your friend. Once you complete this plan in your heart, do not desire. You don't have to do a Maisa, but you have to make calculation. It's evidence that Taiva is not just the heart, but rather with the mind, with calculation. When the people complain in the midbar, when they desired meat, it calls them the nation which desired. They made an effort to bring about their desire. That is the lav of lotis ave. So it requires like mirus leiv, which is mirus das, in this case, to plan how to do it. And now we can stop for the day.